Welcome to How to Run for Office and Get Away with It. Today, it's the golden rule, neither a dick nor a diva bee. We're breaking down the main character trap, the myth of identity entitlement, and why treating your volunteers like gold is your actual secret weapon. Plus, we'll preview a very special history episode. As always, brought to you by Bee Political LLC. Let's get into it. Welcome to How to Run for Office and Get Away with It. I'm Scott.
And I'm Bee.
And we are very happy to be here with you today.
We are, because we are living in the past and it is the future for our audience.
Yes.
And they know the results of all the primaries that are happening
This week.
It's this week for us, but it's last week for them.
That's pretty wild. If we listen to this podcast when it comes out, will we know
We
the
will
results?
time travel back to the past. We'll
That's
know,
amazing.
but as our own audience, we will know the answer. It's very exciting stuff.
Somebody called Neil deGrasse Tyson. We may have come up with something.
I don't think so. I don't think
No?
we did.
Okay.
No. I think we just, we said a thing and then we made all these people listen to it. No, but primaries are over for you all. So congratulations. You know who your candidates are.
Right.
And I'm very excited to be joining all of our audience and knowing those answers too. So
We'll all find out together.
we'll all find out together. And then all of the awful ads where all of the political party members have turned on each other can now turn at
At each other.
each other.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see some partisan TV ads for a change.
Instead of who can be the worst of the worst.
Right.
Yeah. So
Don't vote for him. He's a Trumpster.
yeah. Or
Vote for me. I'm a Trumpster.
Trumpster. Yeah. So, we've got those answers. Everybody's excited and probably taking a nap. Other people.
If you have been campaigning and you've had your primary, please go take a nap.
No, well, like take a beat, take a second if you can.
I'm not saying sleep for 3 months. I'm saying take a nap.
Yes.
Take a day off.
Take a day off and then get back to it. But yeah, your mental health is just as much of a commodity as your time and your money. So, if you have gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, you can't really campaign. That is some excellent alliteration. Now tell me that I am not a writer.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs campaigning.
Yeah, you can't do cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs campaigning.
We should get that on a t-shirt.
We absolutely should. I feel like General Mills might have something to say about it, but, what are you going to do? We'll find out.
I guess
Anyway,
so.
hey, speaking of t-shirts, I have made special t-shirts for Juneteenth, which I'm excited about. For all of you listeners out there, there is a Juneteenth 5K that I'm going to be running in with one of my dearest, closest friends, who we call Emily Awesome. Emily Awesome and I are going to do the 5K together.
Is this your very first 5K?
No, I do a 5K a day. I just don't do it publicly because
Is
nobody.
this your very first public 5K?
It is my first public 5K. I don't physically run in public unless someone is chasing me. And so, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to support our local chapter of the NAACP, and you guys can too, actually.
Go to their website, and what's that address?
It's tinyurl.com/freedom-5K. But here's what I'm going to do, right? So go to beepoliticalllc.com, our website, transcript of this particular podcast, and right here in a very meta sort of way, you are going to find the link because it's going to be in the dialogue, and you can get the
it's going to be fancy.
Yeah, you can get the transcript for every episode
You
that
can
we
listen
do.
to the podcast and follow along in the transcript in case you can't understand what we're saying.
Yeah. So, and because apparently this helps for people who have attention deficit disorder to be able to follow along the reading. So we have the transcript up on our website. You go to podcast, and then the player will pop up. You don't even have to have like a separate player. We have a player on there. It'll pop up. Set it to the episode you're listening to, and the transcript follows. And we've got some interesting images and links to information, resources that you can get from right there in the
all kinds of information there about things that we talk about on the podcast. Some really great visuals and tools that you can use.
Yeah, I know for a fact we've got a checklist up there for your camping emergency kit.
Yes,
that goes in the thing,
a very exhaustive list.
Yeah, and then we have when we did color theory, there is visuals of the color theory. So if you want to join the 5K, and I will tell you you should, because here is who is benefiting from this. It's being hosted by the NAACP, and they are putting the proceeds of that towards the YMCA Achievers Program. That's at the Telford YMCA, the Maurice Hibbard Non-Traditional Scholarship, the Friends of Maple Grove Cemetery, and the New Liberty Family Shelter. All worthwhile causes. There's going to be food trucks. There's going to be fun stuff. There's going to be music and snacks and hanging out with people. It's going to be a fun time celebrating Juneteenth. And
yeah. Finn and I will be there enjoying the food trucks and cheering you guys on.
I'm sure he's going to probably try to jump in with us. So anyway, come out and do that.
If you happen to be in the Richmond area or going to be on Juneteenth.
And I'm having, if you happen to be on the website, at the end of every transcript, you will see one of my little graphics that I make, and it says, "Let's get ready to run." And it has like a little person running. And each week I try to make it a different person that's running in the little graphic. And so, and the special shirts that I had, that I designed, but that I'm having made, instead of the American flag, it has the Juneteenth flag in the background, which I think is fun.
They're very cool.
For the 5K race. So come and join us for that. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to do it. I'm not going to run. I don't think I'm ready to run. I just walk really fast. I'm a fast walker.
Okay.
And that counts, because I think, isn't speed walking an Olympic sport now?
I don't know if it's made it to the Olympics yet, but it's getting close.
I think it was considered. Anyway, no, I'm excited. I'm not excited. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about this thing because it's on topic for the show today.
You are so excited to be talking about this today.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about our topic today, but before we get into it, I think we need a word from our sponsor.
Yes, we do. Running for office can be overwhelming, especially when you don't know where to begin. Bee Political helps people just like you run for political office with the confidence of having a seasoned campaign manager. With Bee Political, you'll find the professional advice you've been looking for, along with guidance and tools you can't find anywhere else. We'll help you stay organized and guide you in making important decisions about your campaign, from learning how to secure that big donor to choosing your campaign color scheme. Bee Political is here for you. It's hard to know where to begin when you want to run. Start here. Bee Political will show you the way. For all your campaign needs, go to beepoliticalllc.com. And now back to the show. All right, so if you guys have checked out our social media lately, you may have seen a post that we put on the other day about I
am so ready to shame this woman.
I'm not even going to try to introduce it. Just dive right into it.
I'm so mad. I'm
All
so
right,
mad.
Here's B.
Okay. If you haven't seen this news article, you can find it on our social media at Bee Political LLC or at How to Run Pod. But quick synopsis of this. This is a 81-year-old woman by the name of Virginia Fox, who is a U.S. Congresswoman out of North Carolina. Now, keep in mind that is the representative here who is receiving this school children's letters. Now, for many of you, you probably had a very similar assignment, but for those of you who may not have had this assignment, it's very common in 5th grade to have different types of letters as part of the English curriculum that you need to write. You need to write one to accompany either complaining about something or praising them for something. You're supposed to go find like the address on a product and send a letter to the company. Or you're supposed to write it and you submit it and you learn how to write those letters. And then you're supposed to do just different types of correspondence. And then one of them, which is also tied into civics lessons, is you're supposed to write a letter to your congressperson. Now, I'm assuming that this is the same assignment that I was given, that's what they were doing here, because what I gleaned from the article that I read, it sounded like that's what it was, but it didn't go into great detail. One of the children who wrote a letter, from what I'm to understand.
Okay, so this is what grade?
5th grade.
5th grade.
We're talking about 10-year-olds, people.
In North Carolina.
In North Carolina.
Writing letters to their congresspeople.
Right. Writing letters to their congresswoman, because they're in the same.
They're all writing just to one particular representative.
Correct. One young man had spent a great deal of time researching his letter, as was the assignment. He chose the topic, he wrote the letter, and was very polite. And the letter itself says that he has done research and he was hoping that his Congresswoman, Virginia Foxx, would consider his idea that there be a tax break for people with electric vehicles of, I think, $5,000. And he'd done research on this and decided that's what he was going to ask.
So this is something I think that they were doing a few years ago.
And it happened to be, yes.
There actually was a tax break on electric vehicles a few years ago, and they have since.
Last year they disconnected it, or
yeah.
discontinued it. And it was an initiative under Biden, and that was a big Republican push, which it just so happens that this representative is a Republican now.
So this 10-year-old thought it was a good idea and was writing to the congresswoman to tell her that he thought it was a good idea and that they should do that more.
Correct. He chose the topic. He did the research. He did a well enough job that he was able to articulate it and write it to his congressperson. And he had great ideas based on the information that he found at 10 years old. And he wrote his congressperson. This congressperson, in return, decided to tell this young man that his teacher was indoctrinating him, that it was a shame that he was going to be so poorly educated by a teacher who was telling him things that was only going to ensure that his generation would be paying for the national debt. And I mean, you have one assignment here.
Yeah.
I mean, the child understood the assignment.
Right.
The 81-year-old mean old lady, and I'm going to call you a mean old lady, come for me.
Virginia Foxx.
Virginia Foxx, you are a mean old lady.
You are a terrible, terrible person.
It has nothing to do with politics. Not this. This is about how you conduct yourself in public service. A 10-year-old was being taught how to research information independently and contact their representative, as is an essential part of our democracy. Educating our students and ensuring that they know how to contact their government to have their issues heard is beyond essential and is the original mission statement of public education, to ensure that we have an educated electorate who knows how to utilize and participate in their government. And this woman turned around and admonished that child, admonished him for what he sent to her, that he would even suggest that there be a tax break for electric vehicles. And didn't he know that they were going to have to pay for that for going into the future? I mean, it's just awful. And you know what? I'm going to read what this woman said.
This is the response that Virginia Foxx gave to this 10-year-old kid.
The young man's name is Christian. And so we're going to congratulate Christian on a well thought out, well crafted letter to his congresswoman. And we ask that he continue to stay civically involved, and that if he ever wants to run for office one day in the future, reach out to us and we'll see if we can't help you, Christian.
Oh, absolutely.
But in the meantime, this is what that mean old lady, and I am trying desperately to keep it to the safe for work language here, that mean old lady wrote to this fine young man. Dear Christian, Thank you for contacting me with your letter to express your support for a $5,000 tax rebate for all new electric car purchases. It is important for me to hear from constituents, and I appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts. That was really where she could have ended.
Yeah, that
this
should have
letter.
been it. Signed, Virginia Fox. That's it.
We agree about the importance of fostering innovation and American competition in the automobile industry. I believe that the best solutions to environmental problems come not from one-size-fits-all government regulations, but rather from human ingenuity that provides incentives through free market policy. This approach encourages the development of new sustainable technology, supports the growth of our economy, and provides jobs. Government regulations, on the other hand, too often stifle economic growth and the innovation that brings solutions into the marketplace. For this reason, House Republicans support an all of the above energy policy. What many folks do not realize is that the money that comes from the federal government actually comes from ordinary citizens who pay taxes to support that government. Therefore, your request that the federal government should give a $5,000 tax rebate for all new electric car purchases means that the federal government must take that money out of the pockets of hardworking people who may not have the means to buy an electric vehicle in the first place. This is true especially since it is mostly people with higher incomes who are able to purchase new electric cars. Yes, the tax break makes it possible for, sorry, that's my little input here. The tax break makes it possible for not rich people to be able to buy those cars. Back to the letter. Have also linked here 6 articles about the disastrous record of policies enacted to address climate change for your perusal. Yes, I know when I speak to 10-year-olds, I often use the word perusal.
Yes.
Further, it is my belief that we should get the federal government out of all things that it does that are not based on the U.S. Constitution. This would mean reining in the exorbitant amount of money that the federal government spends on causes that are not to be found anywhere in the Constitution.
What in the hell is she talking about?
Well, I mean, I get what she's talking about, but does a 10-year-old, and also you're telling a 10-year-old that you're basically giving an entire indoctrinating philosophy of government to this child who simply said, consider this idea. It continues, guys. And you're thinking right now, this isn't so bad, right? It's a little over the top to
It's
write
a little
back.
preachy to a 10-year-old.
I mean,
yeah.
there's 6 links for this letter in the body of the thing for
Yeah.
why it's bad to give tax breaks for electric vehicles. But now you're thinking, okay, but well, I'm not done yet. Have attached an article to this correspondence for your benefit entitled 2038, which explains how little time the United States has left before the interest payments on the national debt surpass our total discretionary spending. This is an urgent crisis, and we must act before it's too late to turn away from this dangerous path that we are on, which will lead inevitably to economic failure and bankruptcy. Again, this is a letter to a 10-year-old, but it's the next part that really gets it done. 2038 is only 12 years away, and you, in all capital letters, and your classmates will be responsible for that debt. Incidentally, please ask your teacher to explain propaganda to you. While I will never be able to know, my guess is that your teacher will not give you a good educational experience and help you learn to think, as they are too interested in indoctrinating you. How sad.
Wow. That sounds like it came straight out of Donald Trump's mouth.
I don't know whose mouth this came out of, but I know that it was written under the name Virginia Fox. And that is an inappropriate thing for a representative to say about public servants, like public school teachers. And it is an inappropriate thing to write to a child who is attempting to learn how to contact their government and congresswoman. If you have not already, I encourage you to sign up for my newsletter by using my website, to stay up to date on my work in Congress. I think we're as up to date as we need to be on that, Virginia Fox.
Yep. Don't need to know anything else.
Do you kick puppies too? If you need more information or have additional concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me. Well, he did contact you, and you told him that his teacher was a bad teacher and that he was being indoctrinated and that it was sad.
Yeah.
When he asked you a legitimate question, which you gave 6 links to, and then you insulted him and his teacher. You are pathetic.
That's terrible.
You are pathetic, and I don't care if you are a Democrat, Republican, if you're the Whig Party, if you are trying to revive the anti-federalist party or what have you. I don't care. You have no place in public service. Children are just as much a constituent as anybody else and deserve to be spoken to with respect. Teachers are public servants. That teacher was doing her job. She did nothing to indoctrinate any child into anything but how to use the civic process in which they live. That's part of democracy. And I'll tell you another thing, while you're leaving out the fact that our national debt is at a crisis, while you're continuing to build on it, while you're continuing to spend money that we don't have and giving away tax breaks to billionaires, while you're continuing to do that, you're telling us that we can't help people get electric vehicles for the other crisis over here, which you refuse to acknowledge because at 81 years old, I guess it's not your problem, is it, Virginia Fox? Please go home to North Carolina and never serve people again, if that's what you want to call it. If you want to call it serving people, I call it a disgrace. Be embarrassed. And if you aren't, that's just one more reason to make sure you don't ever serve in office again.
So for all of our listeners that are in the 5th Congressional District in North Carolina, go check out Chuck Hubbard, who is the Democratic candidate running against Virginia Fox in this year's election, or Robert Luffman, who's the Libertarian Party candidate, and David Clayton, who is an independent. These are all people running against that nasty person that Bee was just talking about.
The mean old lady.
That mean old lady.
Mean old lady.
So, Virginia Fox, you need to go home.
We hope you go home. And while I don't wish anyone ill will, if the neighbor kid washes your car with rocks, I won't be sad. All right. And that is the perfect topic. It just so happened to come up.
Yeah.
And so the title of this episode is Language Warning.
Neither a dick nor a diva be.
Neither a dick nor a diva be. We're going to teach you how to not be a dick or a diva. And then we're going to...
Is it neither or neither?
I think it's either or either.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
You're ridiculous. So look, there's a lot of ways that you can fall into the trap of accidentally being a douche canoe. And so it happens. It creeps up on you. We get that. We're going to give you kind of a check yourself before you wreck yourself list. The other part of this is you may confuse confidence and holding the room and being confident to others. You may accidentally be looking like a person who would also say things like, do you know who I am? And that is, nobody likes that person. And the key to this is being liked enough that people will do things for you. And running for office isn't just about being important. It's not just about being powerful. It's not just being seen as a leader. It's also being liked. It's also being liked enough that people want to follow you. It's also being able to balance that confidence and leadership with humility and servitude.
Right.
So we're going to talk here about humility, kindness, and cooperation in campaign leadership.
Some of the pitfalls to avoid.
Let's start with the main character trap. Everybody know what main character energy is? You've heard this. Have you heard this? Main character energy. Everyone experiences the world as their own main character in their story.
Right.
It's when you forget that not everyone else experiences you as their main character that it starts to become a problem when you forget that. So the first thing I want you to do is give yourself some space, right, to acknowledge just the adrenaline of running for office. Running for office is a lot. Suddenly, you're right there in the limelight. Everybody wants your attention. Everybody's talking to you. for a lot of people. In other cases, you're desperately trying to get people's attention. You're desperately trying to get anybody to even know that you're running. But once you get that attention is on you. And it is on you all the time. And suddenly you're experiencing it in a way that you've never really experienced it before.
Right.
It's like it's your first taste of celebrity in a lot of ways.
Sure.
So you want to acknowledge that that's what's happening.
And it is an adrenaline rush because not only is it being recognized and being sought after by the people around you, it's the constant energy that you have to exude. It's constantly talking about yourself and being very positive and being very forward-looking, and it creates that whole adrenaline rush that happens.
Because you're constantly telling people what makes you so wonderful.
Sure.
But then there's the flip side of that. Acknowledge the reality of the situation too. It's easy to start believing your own hype because, you're walking around and you're talking about yourself. Just,
right.
And you see your name everywhere on signs. If you're doing things successful, suddenly your name is visible and you have some name ID. But you're not a new Avenger.
You're not a superhero.
Like, I mean,
you're not saving the world.
I know, but you're not even like let's bring it down a notch. If you went the next town over, you're not getting preferred seating at that Applebee's, right?
No.
You're not. Nobody cares. So let's keep the scope in check.
Right.
Yeah, it is hype. It is really exciting. It is a new experience.
And in some circumstances, you're going to feel all of that all the time.
But recognize the scope of it and that it's not all that big. Even as high up as running for Congress, I'm going to tell you, outside of your state, sometimes even just outside of your congressional district, no one's going to know who you are.
They probably won't even know your name.
They probably won't even know your name. You may have people outside of your district because of the media buy area, but beyond that, this is not world fame. You are still a big fish in a little pond most of the time.
Right.
If you are a big fish, you might even just be a medium fish in a super small pond.
Yeah.
Right.
And your campaign is the most important thing to you. It's not the most important thing to anybody else that you talk to.
Yeah, it's on their peripheral.
It's on their list, but it's not the most important thing to them, and it's definitely not as important as it is to you.
Right. And you do need to, your goal is to understand that it's not as important to them as it is to you. So you're trying to convince everyone why it needs to be just as important to them as it is to you. If you're already going into a situation thinking that everyone recognizes how important all of this is, just like you do, well, you're not working to convince anyone. You assume everyone's there with you.
You're not the Messiah.
You don't have any
You're just
dread.
a candidate.
You're just a person who got their paperwork filled out on time, right? So calm down. And then after that, one of the best ways that you can do both is acknowledging the adrenaline, the excitement, a little bit of the local fame aspect of it, but also recognizing that, okay, right? Let's bring it down a notch, though, is by constantly acknowledging that you're part of a team. You need to remember that you are the head, the face of the team, but it's not you running all alone. Yes, you're putting your name and your face and your ideas forward, but your ideas are informed by all of these people that are helping
whether they're working on your campaign or whether people are talking to their neighbors about you.
And talking to you about their ideas, helping to inform what your policies are and shape what your ideas are. But, constantly remembering where your place is that, yes, you're the face, you're the name. It's your ultimate ideas and your name slapped on them, but you're just part of a bigger idea and a bigger team, and you're playing a big part in it, but it's not just you.
Right.
Other people are getting you there. Other people are helping you, and you need to remember that you wouldn't be getting anywhere without those folks.
And it's a balance, because that as we said, that adrenaline, that celebrity of running for office is one thing that gets people excited about you and gets them encouraged to become involved and to do volunteer work for you and to work on your campaign and to make contributions. So that adrenaline, of the excitement of it that people feel from you, is something that motivates them to want to be involved.
And that's what you want to hang on
And
to.
that's what you want to hang on. You want to hang on to that excitement, but you have to do so at the risk of being overly important.
Yeah. Remember to put that energy towards the positive things in your campaign,
And make
not
sure that-
towards you and not towards your self-importantness. It's not about making you famous. It's about getting you elected to do a job.
Right.
And that is an excellent point, because that happens to be first on my list of things to remember, which is your campaign success is directly proportional to how you treat the people who are helping you get there.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Without them, you can't get anywhere, and they will feel the difference in how they are treated volunteering for one candidate who doesn't respect them as to volunteering for you.
Right.
If you respect them, they're going to remember it, and everybody's going to hear about it. Like that. That's going to be what everybody hears.
If you're a dick, they don't want to have anything to do with you.
And so that leads into thing to remember number 2. Leadership isn't about being served. It's about service.
Right.
So especially in campaigning, these people are not working for you. You are working for them. You are taking all of their thoughts, ideas, energy, passion, all of that, and then you're carrying that with you and presenting them and putting your face on it and helping lend their voice. You're being the voice of many. You're providing a service, and that is a service you're signing up to do. You are not signing up to be the most important person in the room. You're not signing up to have people listen to you exclusively and be part of your army and whatever. This is not supposed to be a vanity project.
I think we can spot people who are in it for the notoriety and for the personal benefit.
And so can
we can see that immediately.
And so can your team. So can volunteers.
Sure.
And you're going to have a hard time getting volunteers. So that directly leads into number 3. Your reputation starts at home.
Right.
If you piss off volunteers and supporting organizations, everyone, and I do mean everyone, will find out, and it will be all they talk about.
Yep.
It'll be all they talk about, and it'll stay on you like a stink. Like, it will be there forever.
And it should.
And it
really should.
And I think, everybody has their moments where they don't think. You're just considering your objective and goal, and it can come across that way. And even that can stay with you.
Sure.
But if you, is just a person, are just treating everybody like they are hired hands there to serve you, you're going to get a reputation, and getting rid of that stink, getting rid of that reputation, it's going to distract from your campaign message the entire time, because then you're trying to redefine yourself for everybody. And while you're doing that, your whole message gets bogged down in making sure people know you're not an a-hole.
Reputations are hard to shake, especially when they're bad.
Right. In fact, we still have this that we talk about long ago, and I'm not going to mention the person by name, but they had a campaign fundraiser. They asked young Democrats to come out and come to this fundraiser and be some of the volunteers. Well, then we started getting emails about, could they wear black pants and white shirts? And we were like, excuse me, what now? And what they wanted was to save money on having a valet parking, and to have young Democrats serve as valet parking rather than giving them an opportunity to learn and be involved and inside and meeting people and making connections for jobs. And when people found out that was what they did, like one person even made sure that all the young people that were there had the opportunity to come in and meet different people,
but that didn't solve the problem.
But it, of course, didn't solve the problem at the time. It never happened again. But I mean, people talked about that in the community. So I've seen that happen before. And I think, benefit of the doubt, I'm going to say that person was looking for an easy solution to save money and look posh in a particular place and didn't really consider the people. They were just saying, great volunteers, I'll plug them in here. And it's young people, so they'll look like and
But they immediately lost the support of every young person in that
it was
community.
really hard to get them to do anything else for her because unlike the other candidates involved them, young people, in the process. The other candidates were giving them opportunities to actually do campaign related work and things that they could put on their resume because, they're not kids. They're not high school kids. These are people who were preparing for professional life,
right,
in politics or in government or in law or in government service. And they just got told to be a valet. So don't do that. That's unfortunate.
right.
And I think that person learned from it. I think that person didn't think of it that way at the time, but it was really hard for them to shake whether they realized how hard it was or not.
Yeah.
And it was impossible for me to get volunteers for
So
that person.
we can chalk that up to being out of touch with various demographics.
I think that is definitely one of it. And then that goes back to that disenfranchisement problem we were talking about in the last episode, where
Sure.
that's how young voters, those are voters in the district.
Right.
Right there.
Not only voters, potential volunteers.
Brand new voters for that district. So new votes, which are just gold. Volunteerism, people looking to do professional services for free to put it on their resume.
Right.
And that one unfortunate not thinking about others really affected that campaign in that. That's unfortunate. So keep those three things in mind.
Okay.
And ultimately the one where if you're not considering leadership as service rather than being served, and if you're not considering other people when you're making your decisions, that reputation is just going to stay with you forever.
Okay. When you write your book about campaigning, there should be a chapter entitled "You Aren't Entitled to Shit."
Yes. And that is the other stink that you can't get off of you. Besides being rude, being entitled will get it done.
Right.
And you won't be able to shake that one either. And I'm going to be honest with you verbatim. That is me talking to a candidate. If I'm talking to you and you tell me I've got that vote locked down, I've got that demographic locked down.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You are not entitled to shit. And here's why. Here's where people make that mistake. First of all, support is earned every time. It is never owed to you. You are not owed anything in this world. The world came before you. It will be here after you. You are owed nothing. Second, people get into a trap where they think I am the only female candidate who's running, so women are going to vote for me. Incorrect. I am the only Hispanic person running, so the Hispanic community is going to support me. Incorrect. I am the only Black person running, so the Black community and my community is going to support me. No.
Not true.
None of this is true. You have to go out there and earn their vote. No different than any other demographic. Nobody owes you anything. And yes, it is nice to have representation of you and see you reflected in your government. But that doesn't do anything other than get you a toe in the front door.
Right.
This is what I call the identity fallacy. Just because you share a demographic with a voter or a volunteer or whatever, whether it's gender, race, ethnicity, religion, it does not mean you are entitled to their vote or their labor. You have to earn it, just
Right.
like I was saying. Two, what I call the party loyalty myth. Belonging to a specific party doesn't grant you ownership or access to the local committee's resources or the base in that community's
Anything.
Their wallet, their time, their anything. Even if they are an active member of your party, it doesn't mean that they're going to show up and volunteer for you or
Sure.
give you money. That just because they're doing it for other Democrats and other races, did you ask them? Or did you just assume that they would show up for you? Don't just assume people are going to show up based on party. I think this is best summed up. This is when I talk to candidates about the party loyalty myth. I think I sum it up best when I say that a D next to your name is an introduction. It's not a closing argument, so behave accordingly.
Right. It's another way to get your foot in the door, to be able to open up a conversation with people and sell yourself.
At the end of the day, you've got to convince them, just like anybody else, to support you, contribute financially for you, to volunteer for you, to vote for you. It's easier. These are people that it's easier to convince.
It often takes less convincing, sure.
But you still
and
need
less time.
But you still need to take the time to convince them.
Yep.
You still need to take the time to show them the respect of earning their vote, time, and money.
Sure.
The only people who think that any specific demographic is a monolith, that is a person who is a lazy politico. Okay? There is no demographic where everyone exists lockstep and has the same beliefs
and
across the board.
And votes the same way.
And votes is a full block. That does not exist anywhere. It's insulting. Voters within any group whatsoever, voters within any group, they have diverse priorities. And assuming they owe you support based on that shared identity, again, it's patronizing.
Sure.
You can't just assume that they're going to, support you because you share the identity.
Right.
But you also can't look at a person and guess that they have the same priorities you do based on the fact that they look like you.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can't just look at a person and assume you know what their values are based on looking at them.
You can't get mad when that happens, when people have different opinions than you, even though you might be in the same demographic in a lot of ways.
So now we're talking about the divaness.
Don't be a diva.
I know a lot of divas. I've watched them. They get mad, indignant. I had one candidate get indignant about it because they didn't automatically have support and thought that they should. It was about a professional demographic. Their professional demographic did not endorse them. They endorsed the other guy, and they were irate, but they didn't do the work that they needed to do in order to get the endorsement.
Right.
And because of that,
they didn't get the endorsement.
And then was irate when they didn't. It's like, well, you've been told this is what would have happened.
Sit down, diva.
You were being a diva. It's Devo if it's a man, yes?
I don't know.
I think it is. I think this is a Romance language rules.
Is this Italian?
Devo, yes. Devo man, diva woman in opera? I don't know. Anyway, so instead of being a diva, don't be a diva. Just show up. Show up with the communities. Listen to their specific concerns. Prove that you're the best person to represent them, regardless of any shared traits, whether you are part of the same, professional organization, whether you are part of the same gender, race, religion, identity, demographic, whether you come from the same neighborhood, whether you went to the same college, whether you went to the same high school, or the other guy isn't originally from that town, but you've been there for 7 generations. It does not matter.
I don't care if you came from the same mother. You have to convince your siblings to vote for you.
Yes. You have to convince your mother to vote for you.
Sure.
I knew somebody whose mother didn't vote for them because she was a Republican and refused to vote for a Democrat. And we were all real sad for her. In the same sort of vein, it's not just the support or the votes financially.
Sure.
You don't want to feel financially entitled to anything. Never walk into a meeting with a donor or a specific interest group feeling like they have to fund you.
No, they don't.
Not because of your platform, not because of your identity. Don't walk in saying, I support all the things you do. It's a no-brainer. It puts people off. It's not just about you're on the same page about what they want. It's about seeing you come to them and do the work of getting their support. They want to see that you are a public servant. It's not just about making the ask. It's about how far are you going to go to meet them? And it's important to show them that you are going to them. You are listening. You don't assume that you agree on everything. You want to hear them out. Because honest to God, sometimes people don't even agree with you, but they will vote for you because you stood there and listened to them
Sure.
talk. That's it. All you had to do was stand there and listen to them complain. That's all you had to do. And they will vote for you, even though the other guy agrees with them and you disagree, because at least they know if they have a complaint, they can go talk to you and you're going to stand there and listen. Another important thing to remember, you are not the most important person in the room. So get rid of candidate complex, as I call it. Candidate complex is where you enter a room thinking you are the smartest, most vital person there, and everyone is there to see you and talk to you, and everyone wants your attention in every room you walk into. Even
You walk into a room and you expect a confetti shower and falling balloons.
if you walk in there with that attitude, you've already lost the room's respect. People will start making fun of you. You will become a caricature. It will be embarrassing. I will laugh at you.
Right.
So here is something that I like to remind candidates who start to fall into the candidate complex. So this is a story I always tell candidates who are starting to get a little big for their britches about the Ripkins. So there's Cal Ripken Sr., who was third base coach for the O's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was Cal Ripken Jr., who played shortstop, third base.
The Iron Man.
And then his brother Billy, Cal's younger son, he started playing, I think, in 87. I was in elementary school. And he started playing, he played infield. So this was the first time, by the way, the father had coached
Two sons.
Two sons.
Two sons in the MLB.
And the MLB. They were on the same team. So they're an impressive family, and they really are kind of like Maryland royalty in a lot of ways.
And Cal Ripken was absolutely the leader of the O's. He was the
moral, the backbone, the spirit, the soul, and he still is.
the most important player on their team at that time.
My guy still shows up to baseball games. At most games, you will see him in his seat behind home plate. He is awesome. And the thing about this is that while they are considered royalty, these guys are just regular, nice, genuinely good people who are oftentimes surprised by their own celebrity.
Yeah.
I think they find it sometimes shocking that
A very humble family.
they are incredibly humble. And they stay very involved in local sports. Both Billy and Cal went to Aberdeen, and they still go to ball games, baseball, football, different stuff, which is how Cal Ripken Sr. falls into this very now long story. My high school, Fort Hill High School, go Sentinels, woohoo, would play that high school in Aberdeen in football, and our fans would stay and help clean up the stadium and do things, help their fans clean up the stadium. And at some point in one of those years, my father, who was fairly well recognized most of the time, and this is a great story for this particular topic, is one of these parents who's picking up trash. So he's walking around picking up trash, and there's a little old man hunched over, and he's picking up trash, and they're talking and chatting away, and then as they continue to chat, this my dad, says, "Oh, you know what? It's a pleasure to meet you," and introduces himself and puts out his hand, and the man looks back and he says, "Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, Cal Ripken." And then it kind of dawned on him, like, "Oh, this is Cal Ripken," just as nice as can be, but did not understand that people would be surprised to find him picking up trash at a high school football game, So later on, several years later, Cal Ripken actually gave me a signed baseball, And I told him that he was my favorite player. And I mean, I did. I had a batting helmet, a Cal Ripken batting helmet that I slept in. Like, I mean, where I'm from, if you brushed your teeth because Cal Ripken told you to, you drank milk because Cal Ripken told you it did a body good. Like, it was, all of our PSAs were done by the Ripkens. And so anyway, I'm like, thank you so much. You're my favorite player. And he was like, I am? Yeah, man, you are. He was like, and he meant it. He meant it.
Sure.
But my point is, that is the way you handle that kind of attention, even if it's on the small scale. Remember to stay humble, because even if Cal Ripken Jr. can stay humble, if baseball royalty, if an entire family legacy, if they can stay humble, I promise you running for that little city council, you can stay humble, okay? So how do we do that? How do we maintain the Ripken family level of humility? Well, the first is to get rid of a privileged mindset. You want to get rid of the privilege. So you want to shift from a perspective of expecting help to feeling privileged in any way that others are donating their most unrenewable resource, which is time.
Sure.
People can't
absolutely.
get time back. You can get money back somehow, but you can't get time back. So thinking of it that way, continuing to treat it that way, you don't want to be so humbled like you're shocked that anyone would help you.
Right.
Right. But you do want to continue to show gratitude. And I can't tell you how grateful I am that you're taking your afternoon to spend time donating your time on this campaign. It means a lot to me because I know how valuable Saturday afternoon can be for somebody like you who's as involved as you are in the community. But it makes me think I'm on the right track with this campaign if someone like you is donating their afternoon. That's all you got to do, man.
Wow. That's fantastic. I mean, that's great advice.
That came off the top of my head, by the way, people. If I can do it, you can do it.
That's right.
So every volunteer has a reason why.
Right.
They have a reason why they're involved in their community. They have a reason why they're there, why they're supporting you. If you look at somebody that's volunteering and you don't know what their reason why is, if you haven't asked them that yet, then go ask them. Go ask them what their reason why is. And there's a really good reason for that. You want to know why that person is supporting you.
So you can do that more.
So you can figure out ways to inspire that in other people.
Sure.
So you've got to listen to why they're there. And maybe that informs your messaging that you need to talk about a particular topic that you didn't know was resonating.
Right.
But also, there may be an issue you didn't even know existed. And they're able to make you aware of it, and it gives your campaign an edge.
Right.
You may identify an issue that no one else is paying attention to.
And this is part of your dynamic campaign planning that you're doing. As you're progressing through your campaign, as you're talking to the community, as you're talking to your volunteers, your messaging may change. It may get updated. It may refocus on an issue that you didn't prioritize before. But you can't find that out unless you're listening. Listening to your campaign volunteers, listening to the people that you talk to when you go door knocking or when you're at an event, the people that you're meeting, people that stop you in the supermarket, like we said before. They say, I'm a big supporter of you. Thanks. That's great. Can you tell me what topics or what issues are most important to you? What is making you lean that way? So that you can get that information, and you're also engaging with the people who are supposed to be supporting you.
Well, and honestly, you're going to shock the heck out of a lot of people whenever they come up and tell you, I'm a fan, I support you.
Right.
If you say, I appreciate your support so much. Could you tell me what issue resonates with you? I'd love to hear your input on it.
Right.
That person's going to go, really?
And even though they were already a supporter, they're going to become a super supporter.
Because now they're going and telling everybody.
They're going to go tell their friends about it.
You've just found out more information. Instead of having the stink of ignoring people or being impolite, you've now create someone who's proselytizing your good name.
I would recommend to everyone who's running for office to go out and get a copy of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
It's a classic.
It's got some really basic interaction information in it.
And it's honestly, I've read it several times. It's, I don't know, I'm going to call it required reading for running for office. It really does tell you just some basic concepts and just stuff you don't even think about.
Tact.
I think it teaches
is
tact and what people genuinely respond to and how you think about how you engage with others. Honestly, I'm going to call it required reading for this episode. If you're listening to this and you're like, well, where do I find out more information? Go pick up that book.
Yep. How to Win Friends and Influence People.
It's now at this point timeless, but anyway. But if you happen to be the politician who is doing all of the talking and people are trying to like get out of the conversation, like you're holding other people up, then you need to pay attention to that. You need to
recognize that, yeah.
Because then people will start avoiding you because they know they're going to get trapped in a conversation and they're just going to wave to you across the room. And
as important as your time is while you're campaigning,
so is theirs.
Other people's time is just as important to them.
So speaking of people who are donating important time.
Yeah, let's talk about a little bit more about volunteers.
I want to talk about that relationship with volunteers and staff versus volunteers. So professional staff are paid to handle stress, right?
That's what we do.
But remember to treat them with respect and the respect that a professional in the field deserves.
Don't be a dick to your staff.
But then there's, but speaking of, we're talking about staff. A lot of times are there because it's a paycheck in their field.
Right.
But volunteers, they're there out of passion. Volunteers
are there to take direction and to lend their support. And they will walk away if they're treated with disrespect.
Well, yeah, because it's their time.
Sure.
It's time management. I'm going to tell you this. It is the most valuable, unrenewable source of fuel for your campaign that is out there. And it is incredibly valuable. They're giving you their time. Respect it accordingly. So, they leave. People are there for the vibes. You got to have good snacks and good relationships.
That's right.
If you don't have both, your volunteer system falls apart.
You have to take a little bit of time and a little bit of your financial resources to take care of your volunteers with things like snacks and providing bottles of water and
get the good gummies
and just taking the time to write notes, thank you notes to them or remembering their names.
Thank you. How many
times have we seen candidates that don't know who their volunteers are?
And not because they're bad at names.
Not like you.
With me, like I can tell you everything about them but their name, but they genuinely have no clue to their it's like this person has been here every Saturday. It's like no idea, no clue. So try to get to know the people that are volunteering every single time. Ask them why they're volunteering for you. Talk to them about why they're there. Get to know them. Be gracious. Write them thank you notes.
Give them some public appreciation. Acknowledge them when you're talking to groups of people about how important they are and what a great job they've done for you. That a lot of times means more than anything to people.
And I think another thing about that, we mentioned it before, it's a great way to utilize your social media is to highlight your supporters, but to thank your volunteers. Make sure they're comfortable with it, though. Don't just throw things up there and being like, hey, look at this person. And maybe they're not comfortable with their picture on social media. You don't know. But I think we've mentioned that before, is being able to celebrate those folks. They're giving time and energy and having someone say thank you. A lot of times people who volunteer regularly, they don't hear thank you and they get out of the habit of hearing it.
People get high off of being told thank you.
They really do. It's all they want.
It's super, super encouraging.
And the good Welch's grape juice gummies. I have never in my life seen people be more serious about what kind of gummy treats.
We really should see if Welch's will sponsor our podcast.
I would love that idea. The Jolly Rancher.
Even if they pay us in gummies.
I'm a lifetime supply. The Jolly Rancher ones are good too, but everybody's
those things are addictive.
They are a problem.
Don't get the off brands because they're just not as good. Welch's is the way to go. Or Jolly Rancher. Don't cheap out on the snacks.
Don't cheap out, but
And we cannot stress this enough. We've talked about it in about 3 podcasts now. don't cheap out on the snacks.
Give them snacks, man. They want the snacks. Let them snack.
We will always advocate for the volunteers.
We believe in volunteers are our future. Let them snack and let them lead the way.
All right. What are some diva behaviors that you should avoid?
Okay. I'm going to say this one first, and it has a big asterisk next to it because it matters, but it may be impossible to live up to. But you should try. And it's not about whether you achieve it. It's about whether you try. The first thing you want to do is try not to be late, which is nearly impossible as a candidate.
Yeah.
You're going to get off schedule. I've yet to meet anybody who was in politics or worked as a government official who wasn't almost immediately in the morning off schedule because they're talkers or they ran into a talker because a meeting ran long.
You never know what's going to happen.
Call time. There's always something, and it throws you off schedule, and you do your best to stay on and not be late. But try not to keep people waiting, especially when you are going to be the center of attention. Don't be a bride.
No.
No, like people are not excited and waiting with bated breath. Even I've seen audiences get mad at U.S. senatorial candidates for being like super late. So don't think it's okay for you.
I have never been to an event with a U.S. Congressperson that has not run late.
And
it just always happens.
But if you're not trying to not be late, you're going to be so late that it's insane.
You have to at least try.
So I put an asterisk next to being late.
Okay.
Because recognizing that one's hard to live up to, you should be putting the effort into it.
Right.
Okay.
Now, let me preface this next one by saying you're going to go to a lot of events.
A lot of them.
They're going to have food there.
There's going to be so much food.
Sometimes it's going to be a potluck type situation.
Sometimes it's just going to be one of those fundraisers where they have like a local caterer that's owned by somebody that matters in the community.
It could be a premium caterer. It could be a local caterer. It could be a potluck. You're going to come across some really crappy food.
It's so bad. And people have different
tastes.
And different kitchens.
And different styles. Don't complain about the food when you're at a dinner.
No.
You are eating.
Ever.
People have prepared food for you. Don't complain about it.
And speaking of complaining, here's another one that we have to tell people about. Complaining about having to be anywhere that is being hosted in your name.
People are doing things for you. Don't complain that you have to go.
If I hear you mingling in a fundraiser that is being held for you, telling people about how tired you are because you have spent all day on the campaign trail and you can't wait to get home, I am going to be so mad. I'm going to lose my mind.
You may have had 6 events that day, but for these people, it's the only one.
And they went to a lot of trouble, and all you're doing is talking about how tired you are. You're not paying attention to all the trouble they went to for you.
Sure.
So don't complain about being at an event, especially if it's in your name.
Just avoid saying you're tired. You've got to have energy. You've got to have that positive. You've got to have positiveness when you're talking to your potential voters and supporters. And our final don't complain. Don't complain about doing the campaign tasks.
Yeah.
Don't complain about doing the work, the stuffing of the envelopes, getting mailing lists together, things of that nature. These are things that you're going to be doing, your volunteers are going to be doing, your staff's probably going to be doing it. Your spouse will probably be doing it.
Our children have started doing this at very young ages. They're envelope stuffers from way back. Your children should be too if you have them.
Right.
You would be amazed how those tiny little fingers can perfectly fold a page.
Be a leader by leading. Don't complain about having to do the work.
Yeah. And this is your first opportunity to really show people that you're never asking the community to do anything that you're not willing to do yourself, if not more than what you're asking others to do.
Absolutely. And that's the secret to a good leader.
I think that's where we come into what compromise can do for you. And that is cooperation as a campaign strategy.
Yes.
So I think that we talk about these concepts of strength and leadership and personality and all of these things. Compromise and kindness oftentimes get miscategorized as weakness.
There is the
Yeah.
idea that if in politics, if you're compassionate, if you're kind, if you're gentle, then you're seen as not having the strength to be able to do the job.
And that's not true.
It's not true.
Because what do we know?
Superman does it.
Being kind is punk as hell. That's what Superman says.
Being kind is punk as hell.
I don't think he says that, but he says
that
being
sounds
kind
like
is
something
punk.
that would have been on the 80s Saturday morning cartoons.
It does kind of for Justice League.
Yeah. Just remember, kids, kindness is punk as hell.
That's right.
Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice.
So the Hall of Justice, by the way, is in Cincinnati, and we love going there because it's the Cincinnati Museum Complex, and it's super cool.
Not that we're getting off topic or anything.
No, but in politics, kindness is often seen as lacking killer instinct, or people think that it is. Superman, he's a Boy Scout.
Yeah.
He shows strength and leadership and kindness and compassion all at the same time. In reality, a cooperative candidate builds more resilient and loyal teams, and those teams end up working harder, and they end up being your get out the vote push at the end.
Right. At the end of the campaign, when you need more people, more labor, more door knocking, more outreach, you're going to need those volunteers that you had at the beginning of your campaign. And if you have treated them badly and disrespected them, they're not going to be there for the get out the vote or the final push at the end of your campaign when you're really going to need them.
Yeah, because why would they? Like, they already volunteered for you.
And you're not going to be able to get new volunteers because
you're out of
around.
time.
Yeah.
And the word got around. But, you won't have to worry about that with kindness, with a thank you note, with a social media post, with a, hey, what brought you here today?
Yeah.
So, and then, we've talked about a few episodes ago, not as seen on TV, right? What do you hear them talking about? Some of you have probably heard it. You don't even know what they're talking about or on the news. Favorabilities, likability, those sorts of things. This is what they're talking about. Do people want to have a beer with you? Do they want to talk to you? Do they think you're nice? Do they like you?
Do they want to spend time with you? Do they want to spend time for you?
People don't vote for the smartest person or the whatever. They vote for the person that they want to hang out with.
Oftentimes, yeah.
There's actually a case study on this with George W. with the fact that he had a quality that people just wanted to have a beer with him. And actually, he didn't even drink beer. He'd stopped drinking years ago, but he was most likely to want to have a beer with.
Obama was the same way. Obama actually did have a beer.
He did go have a beer.
Nice.
He actually went to solve a problem over a Sam Adams, which is nice. So, when
Sam Adams wasn't really known for solving problems, though, was he?
Yes, but with tar and feather. So it is politics. There are a lot of passion. There is a lot of passion. There is a lot of, heated discussion.
There's going to be conflicts.
There's going to be conflicts. So handle disagreements with humility. Admitting you're wrong as a candidate builds more trust than pretending that you're infallible. I can tell you that 100%. It is so refreshing sometimes to hear somebody just say, you know what? I didn't even realize that. I made a mistake. I am so sorry. I think I know how to make that better in the future. Would this work if I did? I mean, there's so many diplomatic ways to handle that.
Oh, sure.
And sometimes you just say you're wrong, even when you know you're not, just because it doesn't cost you anything. And that person just needs to hear it. So just, if it doesn't cost you anything and it doesn't affect anything, just apologize,
Suck it up,
man.
Buttercup.
And then don't be smug when you're right. Believe it or not, with these conflicts, a lot of times you're going to be right. So don't be smug about it.
Right.
Don't be obnoxious.
Don't be an I told you so person.
It's even harder to convince people the next time because then they're rooting for you to not be right because you were so smug and annoying the last time you were
Nobody
right.
roots for the asshole.
Nobody roots for an asshole. Which brings us to our final topic here.
It could be called Don't Be an Asshole, but we've titled it
Don't be antagonistic. Don't be antagonistic. Briefly put, don't be antagonistic with your opponent. just don't ignore that they even exist unless you have to address them in some way.
You can address their policies. You can address their previous activities in politics as to how that differs from what you would do, how that has hurt the community, and how you can overcome that. Don't look for conflict with your opponent.
And don't create conflict with your opponent for attention, because guess what? That's a wash. You got them attention too.
Be sure to defend
net
you
zeros.
can defend yourself.
But don't start it. With your staff, don't be antagonistic. Don't be purposefully an asshole because you feel like I'm in a bad mood. This has been a long day and I pay them so I can take
And they
it out
just
on
need
them.
to do what I tell them to
And
do.
they just need to do what I tell them to do. Don't be that way.
And there's going to be times when you're tired or you're in a bad mood or something negative has happened that's affecting your how you're feeling or your personality. You got to stifle that shit. You've got to move forward in a positive manner with the people who are there supporting you. Don't take out frustrations on your staff. Don't make them feel like they're bearing the brunt of what's going on with your campaign or your life.
And then, finally, with other organizations that you're working with, that their supporters or their members potentially support you. And this is a big mistake that I've seen candidates make before. They mistake the organization for their members, and people need to not burn down the entire, bridge because an organization chose to endorse the other guy. Just because the organization itself chose to endorse the other guy doesn't mean the members chose to endorse the other guy. Don't be hostile to an entire community because the apparatus that community belongs to decided to endorse someone else or to not endorse you or what have you.
Sure.
That doesn't mean that you've lost them as a source of voters, as a source of financial contribution.
Because again, as we said before, a demographic is not a monolith.
Exactly. And so if you are assuming that all of those people vote in lockstep with the organization or the apparatus that represents them in some way, then
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Nobody is required to vote.
Spend a little bit of energy telling them why they're wrong.
Sure.
Treat people like individuals where you can. So don't be crappy because an organization didn't endorse you. Don't burn those bridges. It's not necessary.
Right.
So to conclude all of this, and it seems a little no-brainer, but some of it I think is a chance to really reflect and decide whether you need to make some adjustments. It's things to look for and to consider in the future if you're not there yet, if you haven't started running. But I think the biggest thing that you can do is consider the legacy of your campaign. Long after the polls close, people won't remember every policy point you made, but they're going to remember how you made them feel when they were working for you.
Sure, absolutely.
So stay on top of how you're treating people. Stay aware of how you're making people feel. And remember, it's about the people that you are working to represent and serve.
Right.
So.
And to quote Hamilton again, you're going to write your own narrative.
There you go.
Stay ahead of public opinion on yourself.
Yeah. 100%.
Yep.
And speaking of narratives, I have a very long one in our history lesson that goes along with today's theme. It fits perfectly.
It is about a dick and a diva.
It is. And I call it A Tale of Two Clays.
And it is a fantastic story, but it is way too long to put in this episode.
So surprise! You're getting a bonus episode on Wednesday.
Some might call it a very special episode.
Henry Clay learns not to be a diva in this next episode.
And Cassius Clay continues to be a dick.
You'll have to tune in Wednesday to find out.
Absolutely.
So tune in on Wednesday evening, I'm going to say. It's
Wednesday evening, yes, we'll release
You're the producer.
The special history episode of the podcast will be released Wednesday evening.
And it's called A Tale of Two Clays.
Right.
And it's an exciting story because it's about two related people who had a massive impact on American history. And all about both of them could have been president, but they couldn't stop being, a pain in the ass to everybody.
And we'll get into that on the next special episode. Until then, you can check out our information at beepoliticalllc.com.
And when you go there, definitely look at the different options that we have available for consulting. Bee Political doesn't just do full campaign management, swoop in and take over your campaign. With Bee Political, we do strategy sessions, which allow us to basically tutor. Would you say tutor?
Work
consult,
one-on-one.
Work one-on-one with campaigns on the areas where you need help.
On specific areas or on general information, we can work with you.
Just getting you set up with your campaign or helping you specifically on how to fundraise and coaching you through that process. So make sure you check out the different categories because there's a lot of ways that you can get help remotely with your campaign and make your campaign a winning campaign.
That's right. So check it out at beepoliticalllc.com. Check us out on all the social medias at How to Run Pod.
And you'll find the transcript to today and every podcast on that website. Go to the menu. You'll see podcast as an option. And we have a transcript page for every one of our episodes. And some pretty great graphics.
A lot of fun stuff on the website.
There's some tools that you can use for later in your campaign that you might just find helpful. So go check it out, see if there's anything that we can help you with. And in the meantime, make sure you come back on Wednesday.
That's right. So until we talk to you again, I'm Scott.
And I'm Bee. Let's get ready to run.